Society unveiled a Cleveland Civil Rights Trail marker.
This is amazing for our scholars.
And I think it's going to be a good movement for the neighborhood to see that the marker is here and the legacy that he left.
I certify that all the students on this stage today have met all of the educational requirements of the state of Ohio and the Cleveland Metropolitan School District and have passed all of the required parts of the Ohio graduation and the Ohio State test. These students are now ready to receive their diplomas.
I'm excited. Anytime I can meet with students, it brightens up my day. I also know you guys are my toughest crew I had, so I'll have to be on my best crew.
The announcement is in regarding who will be the new leader at the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. Dr. Warren Morgan there. He's taking over in July.
Cleveland, it feels great to be home. It just feels really, really great to be home. And words can't describe how excited I am for this opportunity. I'm extremely humbled, honored, but above all, just extremely grateful.
Educators at Paul L. Dunbar Arts Enrichment Academy welcomed students as they walked into the building to start this year's CMSD Summer Learning Experience. Parents and students both excited.
The summer learning experience is the best time for kids to do projects that interest them. They had to say so in what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it, and now they take ownership of their project, which is what demonstration learning is all about.
So I think the reason that we made this book to show people that they need to stop cyberbullying, stop doing stuff on social media or even in real life, and everything else.
So I want you to understand that this book, our book, your book that you created, is going to help so many other young adults just like you. So you should be very proud of yourself that you're courageous enough to even write about this or create this book to help somebody else. You're not just thinking about your sister, you're thinking about other people as well. And I'm so proud of you for that.
A week before they board a plane, students participated in a media day of sorts. They told reporters about the project they call Hands Across Borders that they've been working on for months. They use 3D printers to make prosthetic arms for children in Ecuador.
To be able to provide access to all of our families and scholars right here on the main floor of East Professional Center, even more in addition to providing 24-hour service.
So CMSD family, we are confronted by challenges, but our momentum is growing. Our resilience is irrepressible, and our success is certain. I'm so excited and happy to be home. I look forward to welcoming you soon to the start of a new school year. I continue to be grateful, and I thank you. Today's such an amazing day for me just because I am a Cleveland kid, born and raised right here, not far from the School of Arts, and now to be a part of the process and the head of school is truly magical, and it means a lot to me.
Hello and welcome to the 2022 Tech Fest and Back to School Bash here at the East Professional Center.
If they have a device that needs repair, they can get the diagnostic done right here at the Tech Fest and have their device looked at.
Today I'd just like to go over some emergency management things that we have put in place for the upcoming year.
The district is also investing $900,000 to improve security cameras. They will also make sure that all the locks on all exterior doors to school buildings and classroom doors are working properly. You see, for Paige Novell and Perez Bryant,
so how does this look?
they were both students at CMSD and are both now teaching at the same schools they were students.
Good morning and welcome to our citywide Get to School You Can Make It pep rally. Let's make some noise.
You might be 1/3 less likely to graduate if you miss just one day a month. If you miss 2 days of school a month, by the time you get to the end of the year, you've missed an entire month of school.
Today we're opening the Fresh Fruit and Veggie Bar at Max Hayes High School. Last year we applied for a USDA Farm to School grant, and the whole idea was to provide fruit and veggie bars in some of our schools as a trial to see how they would work.
It makes it customizable for the students. This allows them an opportunity to customize themselves based on a flavor profile that they would enjoy.
Our school has been renamed for a woman who first made her mark on America in the 19th century. Mary Church Terrell was a lecturer, educator, and activist who stood for racial equality and women's rights.
On this day, fathers, grandfathers, and father figures are encouraged to walk their children to school. Across the district, 60 schools participated in the Father's Walk.
We know that when families are engaged, students do better.
We begin with breaking news tonight.
Cleveland Metropolitan School District CEO Eric Gordon is stepping down.
CMSD is in a strong financial, operational, and personnel health. And that vital health ensures the district's continued progress through periods of transition as we enter into the exchange zone this school year.
During the first demonstrations of learning of the academic year, students at Anton Gradina Pre-K through 8 school were excited to present what they've learned about bees.
It's honey right here. That's the honeycomb.
So the reason that we wanted to do a great debate is because we wanted to showcase the talents of our 9th graders. As we were putting together argumentative essays, it became very apparent that our students had some very good critical thinking skills.
Today was our annual white coat ceremony. This is the day that marks the beginning of our senior internship at Metro Health Hospital.
2 backs in the backfield. Solid run, but Marshall gobbles them up. Flag strong on the play.
Meet Kyron and Darian. These Cleveland Early College high school juniors are perched above the field in the broadcast booth. They are giving their commentary and play-by-play of this game.
It's like a school-wide book club, and if I want to talk to someone about the book, there's always someone I can talk to.
This book is part of the One School, One Book reading program at Mary Bethune Pre-K through 8 school started last year. This is the 4th book the entire school has read together.
As we think about doing violence prevention work in the city and any work in the city where we're going to be focused on the improvement of the lives of our residents, it is essential that we include resident voice. And we want to make sure that our young people, the youth in our city, know that their voice matters. And we want to center a lot of our ideas, a lot of our interventions in the things that they are telling us that they actually need.
No more silence! Violence!
It's people like these students here that make this community a better place to live. Actions like this should never go unrecognized, but they often do. So today, we wanted to take time to personally thank them for assisting those small children and their actions ensured the safety and reunited them with their mother. Thank you for assisting the Cleveland Division of Police in reuniting these children with their family. It's citizens like you that make a difference in our community.
Tonight we're here at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse for our annual CMSD Thanksgiving dinner. It's a great opportunity for us, our entire team, our coaches and our players to give back to the community and specifically to the Cleveland Metropolitan School District.
Welcome to our school and the unveiling of our new Verizon Innovation Lab.
I like being at the Choice Fair because it's better than looking in the brochure, and I can actually have a visual of what I'm looking for.
It makes me proud to live in the district as well as have opportunities individualized based for her.
It's a lot of people that is rooting for us as a team to bring history back to Cleveland. You understand? We have no doubt. We've been in this thing for 11 to 12 weeks, months, I mean, you know, so we just got to go and finish it out. And we're going to get that done, all right?
Steps up throwing. Coverage is good. Oh, what a grab! Going up to get it and coming down with it is Demarion Witten, the tight end. And the final seconds will tick away. The Glenville Tarblooders do in fact make history. First Cleveland Municipal School District school to win a state football championship during the playoff era. The Glenville Tarblooders, the Division IV state champs in 2022.
Let's show some love for our state champions one more time. I just want to say, on behalf of the great city of Cleveland, this team has made everybody proud. Everybody proud. Not only did these young men show what greatness looks like in Cleveland, but they made history in our great city.
Desmond walked into the East Professional Center gym with his head held high. Holding a hat from the school, he plans to play football. Desmond also attended both CMSD HBCU combines. He was noticed by the Alabama A&M recruiter and became the first player who attended a combine to receive a scholarship offer.
So last week, international philanthropist Mackenzie Scott donated nearly $2 billion to 343 organizations that help underserved communities. And today it is my pleasure to share that she included in that huge donation a $20 million gift to the Cleveland Metropolitan School District.
Thank you, Mackenzie Scott.
Thank you, Mackenzie Scott. Thank you, Mackenzie Scott.
These 40 students from high schools across the district came to East Professional Center with one task: to give money to worthy causes. First, the students divided up and read the 93 grant applications totaling $5 million. They had to decide which grants should be funded from the Get More Opportunities Fund.
Today we are kicking off a year-long initiative called Cleveland Reads. Our goal over the course of 2023 is to get Clevelanders to read 1 million books and/or read 1 million minutes throughout the course of the year.
Lincoln West School of Science and Medicine High School Principal Juliet King gave a tour of the classrooms located inside Metro's main campus to Congresswomen Chantel Brown and Amelia Sykes, along with United States Department of Human and Health Services Secretary Javier Becerra and Metro Health CEO Dr. Erica Steed. On this tour, they talked about increasing the pipeline of healthcare workers.
Hello, everybody. We're so happy to be here in Cleveland and just spent the morning visiting some amazing schools. I'm Cindy Martin, Deputy Secretary of Education, representing Secretary Cardona for our Raise the Bar, Lead the World tour, where we're looking across the country on this tour around excellent academic learning conditions and how we're increasing student access to high-quality learning like we see here.
with pleasure that I welcome you to the new Executive Grill.
This is going into my 23rd, 24th year, just how we've come from a small little cafeteria program, just cooking for the people in the building and the students, to the reach that we've accomplished over the last few years, and how we're going to be able to engage with the community more now.
We went on Edgewater to clean up the beach and pick up microplastics.
Definitely bigger plastics, and they've decomposed and like degraded into tiny little bits.
Nearly 56 years to the day Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his Rise Up speech at Glenville High School, the Cleveland Restoration Society unveiled a Cleveland Civil Rights Trail marker.
This is amazing for our scholars.
And I think it's going to be a good movement for the neighborhood to see that.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Principal. How are you? Good evening, everyone. My name's Darielle Snipes, and I'm with the Communications Department here at CMSD. And I would like to welcome you to this town hall meeting here at the Near Wells Theater. Thank you so much for coming out on this Monday night to share your thoughts about what is working well within the district and what you would like to see improved. It is because of your input that is going to help Dr. Morgan shape how he moves forward with here in the district. As you know, Dr. Morgan has only been on the job less than 3 months, and he really wants to hear from you and everyone else about their thoughts about CMSD so that it can really work for all of us, because as he says, it's not his district, it is our district. So in this town hall meeting, I just want to do some housekeeping rules right now, not that they're rules, but on your table, if you're at a table, there are cards on the table, index cards, and if you have a question for Dr. Morgan, write it down. Not a comment, a question. If you have a question for Dr. Morgan, please write it down, and at the end of this session, he will answer your questions. We will have someone from the communications team who will be reviewing them, and then we will ask them. So write it down. There are pins on the table as well, and also there's instructions on how to answer the questions, but we'll have more information on that in a minute. So just know that you can just talk away about what you think is going well and what is not. Also, during this time, you'll be answering 3 questions and also giving some thoughts on core values. So just get to thinking about what you would like to see improved here in the district. And my favorite question is, what would you do if you were CEO? What would you do first? That, I think, is a fun question. So you'll on your table there's a paper on there with the QR codes. Each question has a different QR code. There's also signs in the back to help you out. And if you do not have a device, or your device isn't working, or you're just not tech savvy, then you can write it down on a piece of paper. We have some facilitators throughout this room. Facilitators, can you please raise your hand, please? Everyone who can help out. If you need help with the tech, or if you can't get to the QR code, or you need a piece of paper or pen, you just ask one of them and they will help you. Without further ado, let me introduce the man of the hour. So Dr. Morgan. Hello, Dr. Morgan. So Dr. Morgan, he's been here since July officially as CEO, but he has also worked in Chicago Public Schools, which he says, and I know, is similar to Cleveland because I grew up there as well. Before joining CMSD, Dr. Morgan worked as Chief of Academics at Indianapolis Public Schools, where he oversaw the academic vision, strategy, and policy of the Indianapolis school system. Prior to joining IPS, he served as executive director for an education nonprofit in St. Louis. Dr. Morgan has also worked for Presidents Obama and Trump as the prestigious White House Fellow. In order for Dr. Morgan to have doctor in his name, he has gone to school, and he has gone to school for a long time, and actually he went to a lot of schools. So he attended the University of Missouri, St. Louis, University of Illinois, Chicago, Yale, Washington University, St. Louis, and Butler University. A lot of schools, that's why he's a doctor, and we are so happy that he is here. Now, some fun facts about Dr. Morgan. Dr. Morgan can play 4 instruments. That's pretty cool. One of them is the tuba, and he is also an accomplished tap dancer. And he is also a member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Please help me welcome Dr. Warren Morgan.
Thank you so much, Darielle, and thank you for coming this evening. These have just been so important, having this Listen and Learn tour. One of the things I mentioned when I first got announced for doing this role, that my top priority would be spending really my first 100 days, but really a great part of this year, listening and learning from the community while at the same time thinking about strategy and the process moving forward. And so it's been incredible to come out to do these town halls that we've been doing. We've been doing the coffee chats, which have been really fun. And then also last week, I had probably my toughest crew of them all, which were our students. I met with about 400 students, probably about 500 students between the Student Advisory Council meeting that we had, but then also the meeting that we had for our Get More grant that we give out. So our students did not hold back. They shared what was top of mind for them, and they also reminded us that, and rightfully so, they reminded us that they are our number one priority when we think about not only us that work in the district, but as a community, our scholars are why we do this work. And so it's really important to center this work in them. Before I share just a couple of reflections and get the evening started underway, I want to make a couple of thanks to people that are here, but first and foremost want to thank the Near West Theater for hosting us. This is just such a beautiful place, and thank you so much for being a partner to us. So let's give them a hand. We also have a couple of dignitaries in the house, so I want to thank them for coming here and already sharing feedback and sharing things that are really important, that are top of mind from their constituents, but then also things for our district to look at. And so I'm so excited to have Councilman Chris Harsh in the house. And then it is always great to have Michelle Pomerantz, who is the City of Cleveland's Chief of Education. And if I missed anyone else or anyone else that has snuck in while before we got started, we'll make sure we acknowledge you at one of the other breaks. I also would be remiss if I did not thank the team CMSD, who is in the house, who continues to just make sure that these events get better, taking the feedback as we do different town halls or different coffee chats, but then also really making sure that we're taking all of the pieces of feedback that we received. And at this point, it's been close, if not over 1,000 pieces of feedback that we've heard from many different constituents, and we're reading through all of them and putting together a report. And so everyone from the CMSD staff, there's many different departments that are coming together to make this work. Would you please stand, and also let's give them a hand. So all CMSD staff members. And that's even, I know we have teachers in the house, we have school leaders in the house. Please, be acknowledged. It's a group effort. Thank you. So tonight is not about me actually sharing many things. It's really about me listening and learning. There's going to be an opportunity for you to provide feedback directly around 3 questions that we're going to ask about. Actually 4 questions, because we're going to start with a little bit of an activity in a moment. And then at the end, there will be a time for me to answer different questions that may be top of mind for the group. But this is not a chance for me to be giving any address or be talking directly out. We do have the State of the Schools address, which is going to be on November 9th. It'll be a luncheon. They'll be at the Huntington Convention Center downtown, and we're working hard to plan that out. But at that time, I'm going to be sharing some of the themes from all of the Listen and Learn tours that we've been doing. We've done, by that time, I think it will be almost over 50 of these Listen and Learn tours, and it doesn't stop at the State of the Schools. It continues to go on because this is the part of learning. It's the part of leadership that's really important, that we just continue to stay in dialogue and listening to one another. So at that point, I'll be addressing the community and talking a little bit about what I've learned and a little bit about our charge forward. So excited about that opportunity and excited to do this tonight. Without further ado, I'm going to bring up one of my colleagues, Dr. Trent Mosley, who is our Senior Chief of Equity and Culture. And he's going to talk a little bit about the platform that we're going to be using tonight and give you some instructions around that before I come back up. So, Dr. Mosley.
Good evening. So the platform that we're going to be using is called Let's Talk, from a company called K-12 Insight. And so what it's designed to do is get as much feedback and so we can aggregate it easily so that way we can make sure that we capture the voices of all our community stakeholders to provide Dr. Warren Morgan an opportunity to determine what are the right next steps based on the inputs that are coming in. So if you look to your right, your left, there's a form, there's a board that has 4 QR codes on there. As well as on your table or on your seats, you should have a document that has those same 4 images. QR code 4 is the QR code that you're going to start off with regarding the core values questions. So when you scan over it, it should open right up. What you can't do for QR4 is use the text feature. You can only use the camera feature at this time. So you'll scan that feature, that code, and then a website will come up. You'll open it right up, and it'll take you right to the questions. At that point, you want to make sure that you enter in every section, or else it will not register, including the subject area. And so with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Warren Morgan, who will then walk us through our activity. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So as Dr. Mosley mentioned, we're going to start with question 4, but a little bit of context for this. So one of the things that I realize that every organization have, whether it is a business, whether it's a school system, whether it is a club or a social organization you may be a part of, every organization has a set of core values, a set of words that the collective community agrees that this is what we embody. This is what it means to be a part of that organization. This is how we make decisions. And one of the things I realized coming in was that CMSD, we don't have a formal set of core values. Now, there may be many different beliefs that we hold, and there may be many different ways we operate, but there are no set of words or core values on our website that says these are the 3 or 5 words that we collectively mean, what CMSD collectively means to us, and what it means for us to actually make decisions and do business. And so tonight is an opportunity for you to share that feedback. We asked this feedback of our senior leadership team. We've asked it of our principals. We asked it of all the students. Throughout the rest of this week, I'm going to be having small group engagements with stakeholders across the city where we're going to be asking it. There'll be opportunity for a small group of our teachers to respond to this when I'll be meeting with some of the delegation with the CTU. And so there's an opportunity for many people to give feedback on what we believe are a set of core values. And so when we start this off, this first activity, what you'll do is scan that QR code for question 4. As Dr. Mosley mentioned, we can't text, so you can't use the text for this one. All the other questions you can use the text. But tell me in that question, what are some words that come to mind when you think about a CMSD? These could be words in which we actually already operate. These could be aspirational. So I invite you to be a part of this core value process in generating ideas. And once again, we're taking all of the feedback and we're reviewing these and looking at what are some of the top trends. And that'll be one of the things I'll be coming out to let you know what are our core values. So we'll start that with question 4. We'll take a moment to do that. Good morning, CMSD family. This is Dr. Morgan, and I'm here with one of our Cleveland School of the Arts scholars, Dalen, who is a senior here at Cleveland School of the Arts. And, you know, it's 10 o'clock. It's in the morning, and every day at 10, we do a little bit of dancing because it's about a 10 dance. So Dalen's going to show me some of his moves, and I will have the opportunity to show Dalen some of my moves with tap shoes, and then we'll see, you know, what moves we have together. So with that, I'll kick it to you.
All right, should we just get straight into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So first, your right leg is going to come up with both of your arms.
Like this.
You're going to place it down.
Okay.
You're going to go 1, 2.
Okay. So 1,
Your left
2.
arm is going to come in with your left leg.
Okay.
So you go. Yes. So you
Okay.
go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, let's try it again. 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right.
Yeah. Should we add a little bit more to it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. You're gonna swing both of your arms back.
Okay.
You're gonna do 2 pointing up. 1, 2.
All right.
Yeah. So we go.
So
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Okay, so my move in tap shoes, well, this could be done without tap shoes. So we're gonna do what is like a flap. And a flap is just when you make a sound with the toe like that. So you just go flap and then just go ball change. Yep, you got it. So flap, ball change, flap, ball change. Yeah, you'll do it with the right and we'll do it with the left. So 5, 6, 7, 8, flap, ball change, flap, ball change. And then the last 4 counts is just 5, 6, and then just 7, 8. Yep, that's it. All right. So all together it's 5, 6, 7, 8, flap, ball change, flap, ball change, heel, toe, toe. Yep. All right, got it, yeah. See, you're a tapper now. All right, you want to do them together?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we'll try to swing them in a whole, let's do 2 8 counts. So, all right.
So again, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Flap, ball change, flap, ball change, heel, toe, toe. All right,
yeah.
There we go. Shall we freestyle?
Sure.
5, 6, 7, 8. Get those words from you. We've just been hearing so many words already, and there's so many that come top of mind for people where they're actually the same words, but then sometimes we get different words, and it's been really interesting to read those reflections from our larger community. And so thank you for being a part of that process. It means a lot to our students first, that we are an organization driven by values and an organization driven by a decision-making framework. One of the kids asked me, they said, hey, if you're asking us about what CMSD means to us, what are your set of core values? And I shared with them the set of core values that I use personally, and this was something I actually shared throughout the process of things that I use that I try to stand on, and also things that I use to help me with the decision-making process, and those are faith, family, community, continuous improvement, and humility. And so those are some of my personal core values, and I'll be excited to see what our collective organizational core values are. Without further ado, let's get the rest of the evening and the bulk of what you've been waiting on, not only to share feedback on the questions we have here, but then also for a chance for me to respond to some questions. And so I'll bring Darielle back up to facilitate this next process. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morgan. Well, if everyone's ready, we're going to start answering some questions, so I hope you guys are ready. So again, we're going to use the QR codes that are either on your table or on the boards behind. You can use the QR, you can use the text. Again, if you just want to do pen and paper, just raise your hand and one of our facilitators will help you. So the first question is question number 1. And that question is, what is needed to improve the quality of education in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District for our students and families? Again, what is needed to improve the quality of education in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District for our students and our families? Please use the QR code or text or write it down. We're going to take about 7 minutes for you guys to answer that question, and then we'll have some people share what they inputted into that for that question. So take about 7 minutes. Remember to fill out all the different spots. Make sure with your name and phone number so we can have that all correctly. And don't forget when you're finished to hit submit. So we'll take about 7 minutes. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have great news. All right, I hope you get excited. I hope you're ready to clap. I hope you're ready to cheer as we announce to your teacher, congratulations, you are an excellence in teaching winner!
She engages her students in a way that makes learning fun and exciting. When students walk into her classroom, they immediately feel a sense of happiness and belonging. I can feel it.
You are an Excellence in Teaching Award winner.
Reverend Greg is an incredibly innovative teacher. Although Latin is not a subject most students expect to study, he uses a gamified approach to teaching and learning that is entirely student-centered, individualized, and effective.
Congratulations! You are an Excellence in Teaching
Miss Washington is one of the best science teachers I have encountered. She consistently instills and grows a love of science in her middle schoolers. Mrs. Washington uses a variety of methods to inspire our scholars. Here's a little bit about what your administration and colleagues had to say about you. Miss Melendez is truthfully the most dedicated and talented teacher I have had the honor to work with. She is deeply committed to the relentless reflection, improvement, and innovation of her craft.
Congratulations! You are an Excellence in Teaching Award winner!
She has developed individualized, personalized learning maps where students develop agency of their learning. She has an incredible passion and determination for teaching her students, for supporting her colleagues, and for always seeking ways to be better for her diverse students. Mr. Durbin is one of the best teachers I have worked with in my career. He does an excellent job creating an environment that supports all students to grow and learn. He allows students to learn from each other and creates an environment that is safe and positive.
You are an Excellence in Teaching Award winner!
Ms. Couric is a caring teacher that wears her heart on her sleeve. She goes well beyond her own needs to ensure that her students are successful and achieve their goals academically and socially.
What an Excellence in Teaching Award!
Every student that works with Ms. Thomas leaves her projects or programs with 1,000 times more confidence. Her commitment to every scholar, whatever it takes, is evident in the countless evenings and Saturdays that she spends working with her students.
You won the Excellence in Teaching Award!
You is a gifted educator who has a unique talent to support a wide ability of learners from EL to gifted to students with disabilities. Ms. Pugh is always coming up with fun and innovative ways to show her students, to show how much they know.
Can you get ready to clap and cheer as we congratulate your teacher and announce you are excellent!
He seeks to understand the whole child, is extremely patient, and always encourages a student to do their best at all times. Mr. Miller's instructional practice demonstrates high level of learning with differentiated instructional pathways that truly supports the individual scholar to reach their academic goals.
It's gonna be an amazing day!
Students and our families. Just about 3 minutes left. Thank you.
Experience for me, because I never did a father and dad walk, but it's a lot, man. Keep me strong, keep me going.
We are honoring and celebrating this day, which is our annual Father's Walk. Was happy to start my day here and be joined with so many wonderful fathers and father figures of CMSD, and particularly fathers and father figures of our scholars here at Max Hayes. And it's just incredible to see so many of our fathers and father figures across our entire district coming alongside of us to do this important work, raising their hand to say we care, raising their hand to say it's important to have an education, and raising their hand to say it's important to be invested in our school districts.
I want hats off to the fathers that are here, because it's important that they be in their kids' lives, and these are memories that they'll cherish forever.
for me to be working with my son, it's a blessing, though. You know, real, like, yeah.
If you don't support them, who will? You know, like that's what we got. Our kids, our family.
Today was very important. It's actually my very first Father's Walk. I just got custody of my daughter this year. So for me, this was like big time for me because I've been waiting to do something like this. So
I want to show them that I care and I love them. Father's Walk is a great idea. It really allows fathers to come and, you know, support their kids, and I really like that.
Minutes is up. If you are still filling out your form, that's fine. Just continue to fill it out. We're going to take some time right now and have people share what they put in. Our facilitator, Andrew Roman, he has the mic, and so he'll come to you and let you share out. I ask that your comment be 2 to 3 minutes long so that we can make sure that we get to everybody. So if anybody would like to share out what they feel needs to be improved for the quality of education here at Cleveland Metropolitan School District for our staff or for our students and families, please share out. Please let us know. Oh, we have something. And if you could say your...
I'm not going to need that.
And if you could say your name.
My name is Amanda. Better funding and transportation. Transportation. It is 31 days of the school year, and my two younger kids, one's in 6th, one's in 2nd, have missed 3 weeks of school because their bus has not shown up. And even though I have called Eric Taylor and Mrs. DuBois, I think her name is, and Mr. Taylor got back to me, but the actual boss from their bus driver has not. Don't know. I understand buses break down, have flat tires, you know, 100 different things. That's fine. But for 2 weeks straight, she didn't show up. So my kids were tardy. My kids missed 2 whole weeks. Luckily, the school didn't count it against them, but how are they learning anything? And when they walk into class late, they're now disrupting the class. How is that fair to my children or even all the other children in class? And, you know, it takes a minute for the teachers to quiet down 40, 50, 60 kids because we don't have enough teachers. So it takes a minute to regather the class, refocus everybody, and by then the class is over. What did they learn? Nothing. So my kid's supposed to go to 8th grade, or my 2nd grader's supposed to go to 3rd grade and pass the reading test. She didn't learn anything in that class. That's not okay with me. Like, transportation's a big issue, but funding is also another issue. I haven't had a fundraiser sent home for the schools or the classes or anything like that. Like, I would contribute to fundraisers. I'd harass my coworkers, my other coworkers, my family, to get some fundraising for the kids and all that. Like, that's what we do. I have other friends who have already sent their kids home with stuff. Like, cookies, candy bars aren't the greatest, but we adults eat them.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Just one thing, thank you for sharing that. One thing, it reminded me in terms of transportation, because I hear a lot about transportation from students as well as from the parent perspective. So upcoming, I'm doing a tour myself where I'm actually riding both our yellow school buses and our RTA to school and from school. So that's coming up to get an understanding of our transportation, the limitations, the challenges, and then also some of the things that are working really well. So I'm trying to get that perspective. And then also what we heard from the kids was food. cafeteria. Students, every time I get in front of the students, they talk about the food. So I think it's actually this week where I'll be getting a chance to get the experience of the kids in the lunchroom. So thank you for raising those, and yeah, we need to make sure that that's addressed.
Hello, my name is Ashley Hill. To piggyback off her, we do need more funding and teachers. For example, my daughter, she's in 4th grade right now, and she goes to Warner's Girls Leadership Academy. So this year for the 4th grade, there's only one 4th grade teacher for the beginning of the school year. So I understand there's a shortage of teachers and teachers' assistants. And I learned that with this policy here, that if a school does not have 32 students or more, then they're only going to get one teacher. Now, her class had 30 students the first week. Then it became 32 students within 2 weeks of school. But the school had to let 2 teachers go, which I didn't like, because they received 3 more students in enrollment for 4th grade. So now they switched up. One 2nd grade teacher had to leave. So one of the 3rd grade teachers had to take over the 2nd grade class. So now there's one 3rd grade class. And now my daughter's teacher, Miss Cook, she had to leave and go to a different school. So the 4th graders, 33 students of the 4th graders, had to go upstairs with the middle schoolers. So now with their core classes, they have to switch classes like they are middle schoolers, which I do not agree with that, because this is their preliminary education. They are still young. They still need nurturing. They still need a one-on-one educator. This is not a special. So I do not believe they need to be transferring or switching classes at this age, especially when they still need to learn how to read, write, all those important things, math, science. So not only is it a struggle for all 33 of the 4th graders, now these teachers have to, who are teaching the 5th grade, 6th, 7th, and 8th grades, have to last minute create a new curriculum for 4th graders. And they're still not going to have enough time to actually nurture these students, because how does it look when her home teacher is math? How is he going to get 33 little girls to concentrate within a short period of time to learn multiplication? How is their new English language arts teacher is still going to teach them within 30 or 40 minutes how to read, to continue to read, comprehension of the reading, and to create sentences? So it's going to be hard. And then that's hard for one teacher, 33 students. So now these girls have to transfer and switch classes within every 30 minutes when they still are learning their core things to make them successful. So I don't think, from what I'm seeing, I don't think that's a good idea. I heard that it's not only WGLA, that other teachers at other schools had to leave, that they had to leave because there are not enough students. But I don't think when they did receive those extra 3 students, they should receive an extra teacher for that, because that was just the beginning of the year. Within those 2 weeks, these girls haven't really learned anything. And I am a big person on education. I talk to all teachers. I make sure I want my daughter's education to be successful, and I do not see that being successful.
Thank you. And while you were listening to everyone share out, just remember that Dr. Morgan will be taking questions at the end. So if you have a question, please write it down on the index cards, and someone will pick it up so that it can be asked at the end. We'll just do one more, and then we'll go to the next question.
Hi, my name is Melanie. I'm a teacher in CMSD, and I'm going to take my 2 minutes, but I'm going to say 4 things. We would like to see that the summer learning program becomes more conditional for our students. It's a great experience for our kids, but when we have kids that are failing their classes, and then they go to the summer learning program, it's not giving them the skills that they need for the next class. It needs to be more of a recovery program for those students in math and reading and writing, so that they can have those skills necessary to move on or repeat the grade. We'd like to see what you have planned for intensely disruptive students in classrooms. I'm not talking about the kid that's just occasionally blurting out. I'm talking about some kids with ankle bracelets. They're coming in high. They're coming in and you're spending too much time dealing with them and you're not able to teach your students. We'd like to see a restructuring of middle school so that we don't have in our 8th grade classrooms somebody from the kindergarten reading level all the way up to the 10th grade, because in 75 minutes you can't get them all. There's just no way you can do it. And we'd like to see something better for our ELL students. We have some coming in that cannot speak our language, not Spanish. They're coming from Afghanistan. We have nothing that we can do with our children, and we want to help them, but we have no means to do it. So those are my 4 comments in 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can tell she's a teacher because that was not 2 minutes. You got it down. You said it quickly. So we're going to move on to the second question. So if everyone could scan the second QR code if you have it on your table. There's some on the board in the back or on the sides. So the second question is, how can we partner to accomplish these goals? So when we say we mean you. So how can you as an individual partner with us, CMSD, to accomplish the goals that you feel are necessary to make sure that CMSD is successful? So we'll have 7 minutes to input that into your phone or write it down on a piece of paper. 7 minutes. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Darielle Snipes with the CMSD News Bureau. Welcome to CMSD 360, a look at news happening around the district for the week of October 8th. Students attending year-round schools will begin a 2-week fall break on Monday. They'll head back to school on Monday, October 23rd. Have a safe break. This week is Fire Prevention Week. This year's theme is Cooking Safety Starts With You. Pay attention to fire prevention. The goal of this week is to educate everyone about simple but important actions they can take to keep themselves and those around them safe when cooking. The Cleveland Division of Fire participates in the American Red Cross Operation Save a Life, which provides free smoke alarms, batteries, and installation. All elderly and low-income residents of Cleveland qualify for this no-cost program. If you need a smoke alarm, call Operation Save a Life at 216-361-5535. This is also National School Lunch Week. This year's theme is Level Up with School Lunch. It is also Farm to School Month. The CMSD School Nutrition Department plans to showcase its new veggie and fruit bars with members of the USDA and ODE at Elmira Pre-K through 8 School. They will also host a roundtable discussion with other school nutrition departments around the state. CMSD CEO Dr. Warren Morgan will host his second town hall meeting this Monday at Near West Theater, located at 6702 Detroit Avenue, from 5 to 7 p.m. Please plan to arrive on time. The town hall is open to the public. Please pre-register on the Listen and Learn Tour page at clevelandmetroschools.org/listening and learning tour. This is part of Dr. Morgan's Listen and Learn Tour. He wants to hear from the community, students, parents, and educators about what areas the district can improve and what is currently working well. On Tuesday, the Board of Education will hold its monthly work session at East Professional Center, located at 1349 East 79th Street. The meeting will begin at 6:30 p.m. and will be live streamed on the district's Facebook and YouTube pages. No public comment is received at board work sessions, but if you wish to speak at the next board meeting, which is scheduled for Tuesday, October 24th, you must fill out an online public comment form to address the board. At the conclusion of each work section, a link to a request to speak form will be placed on the board site. The link will remain live until noon on Tuesday, the day of the next board meeting. For individuals who do not have adequate digital connectivity or have barriers to the online form submission process, please call 216-838-0030 for assistance submitting your request to speak form. To find the online request to speak form and to see other changes to procedures at board meetings, including meeting locations, that can be found at clevelandmetroschools.org/Board of Education. Also on Tuesday, the Senate League Co-Ed Golf Championship will be held at Highland Hills Golf Course starting at 10:30 in the morning. The Robert Bump Taylor Boys and Girls Cross Country Championship will be on Wednesday at Wallace Lake starting at 4 p.m. Good luck to all the student athletes. For a list of other games happening this week, times and locations, go to clevelandmetroschools.org/Senate League. On Thursday, the Executive Grill is scheduled to hold a fundraiser. The grill will team up with Crazy Comforts, a catering company owned by CMSD chef Jonathan Gardner, to give diners an experience like no other. The meal will consist of a 3-course offering that includes a salad and either a chicken, salmon, or cauliflower steak entree plus a dessert. The tickets are $45. The money will be used to take culinary students on a trip to the Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, New York. To make reservations for this fundraising event or to eat lunch on Wednesdays or Thursdays at the grill, go to clevelandmetroschools.org/grill to make a reservation. Thursday is Ombuds Day. This year's theme is Ombuds, diverse in role, united in service. Our Ombuds office serves as an impartial resource for parents, caregivers, and the community to help resolve disputes or concerns that haven't been resolved at the school level. We would like to thank our Ombuds office for all it does for our district. CMSD is hiring. There are several positions available, including substitute secretary, environmental service specialist, professional bus driver. Applicants must have their commercial driver's license. Full-time security officers, those applicants must have their Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy certification. Assistant lunchroom manager and cook, those who apply for that position must be Serve Safe certified. For a complete list of job opportunities, go to clevelandmetroschools.org/hire. There will also be a job fair on Wednesday, October 25th from 9 to 3:30 in the afternoon at East Professional Center. On Friday, students will have the day off for their fall break. Enjoy. This week's shout out goes to the CMSD Heart Champion recipients. Over several days, team members from the CMSD Customer Experience Department went around the district surprising employees. These educators are being celebrated for taking the extra steps to communicate with heart and improving the customer experience of our students, parents, visitors, and fellow educators. We would like to congratulate this latest round of Heart Champions, including the Communications Department's very own Eileen Simmons. And just a reminder, it is National Principals Month. Please take time during this month to show your appreciation for our school building leaders and the significant role they play in our district's success. If you recognize them on social media, please use the hashtag #ThankACMSDPrincipal or celebrate CMSD so that we can share out. Seniors, please take time this month to fill out a college application. During Ohio College Application Month, the Ohio Board of Regents and the American College Application Campaign encourage graduating seniors to begin navigating the college admission process. A fundamental part of that process is financial aid and scholarship awareness. Say Yes to Education and free application for federal student aid applications, also known as FAFSA, is now open. Seniors and their families, please take time to fill out at least one college application and start the process of filling out the financial aid forms. For more information, go to clevelandmetroschools.org/sayyes. We'll stay connected with what's going on in the district by downloading the CMSD app or following CMSD on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks for watching CMSD 360. Have a great and productive week.
Need more time? Please take the time, finish up, because we want to hear from you. So the question is, how can we partner to accomplish these goals? But before I hear from you, I just want everyone to give a big round of applause for our sign language interpreters. We have Kelly Parker and Jason Kirksey doing a wonderful job. So thank you for that. So now Andrew has our first person who would like to share out anyone? Oh, it's way over here, Andrew. Oh, we have one, and then we'll get you, okay?
Good evening, and first of all, let me say thank you, Dr. Morgan, for having these listen and learn tours for the public. When I just want to piggyback on what the teacher said, and whoever piggybacked from the teacher, I kind of want to go back to answer this question. My name is Yolanda James. I am a para, sub-para, and have been for quite some time. So I'm going to speak on behalf of the sub-paras and the paras. I want to say this first and foremost. We cannot keep having these meetings or coming to such places as this, just being a hearer of what's being said. We got to become a doer of what has been spoken and what we have listened to, not only heard, but what we begin to listen to. We can accomplish some of these goals that this question is asking by coming out of their administration offices, some of us, and get into the classroom. I'm talking about the teachers now, not you all, but for the administration. Come and see what the teachers are doing and going through with our students that are coming into these school buildings that we don't really want to talk about, but we sit in the staff lounge and we complain and complain and complain. It's time, it's a new season, and it's time to get up and do something honestly about it. I was told not to come here and be a troublemaker, but I am. Because I'm going to speak truth in life. Stop saying we don't have the funds. We pay taxes. We have funds to take care of not only our students, but to take care of our teachers. And don't forget about us as parents who become the babysitters in the classroom for the parents' children that come to school off those buses every morning. Whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, sleet, or hail, we are out there to get your babies off those buses. And yes, we do have buses that does not show up, and it's a big concern, and we're looking for those babies. Another thing, when you look at that pay, some of the parents in the rooms that's been there over 2 years, 2.5 or more, we can teach the classes. Find out, figure out some kind of way how we can assist in helping the teacher teach. Then stop moving those teachers that have been with those children all around from here to there, because it hurts those children that are multi-disability children as well. I will not leave them out. And then when you putting them in with general ed, whoever talked about the grades, a 5th-year-old in with a 10th, it should not be. If we just go back, maybe just think about it, focus on it, and just go back to the basics. You want a 3-year-old, 4-year-old to tell you what 128 plus 35 is when they don't even know what 1 plus 1 is. We want to get some things accomplished. Let's go back to the reality, go back to basics. And lastly, I wanted to say, I did say stop moving around, but just out of respect, let's take all things into consideration. Parents, I want to talk to parents just quickly. Stop cussing us out. Help the parents to get involved in the school system. Become volunteers. Help us to help your child. You know, we're there. I'm there. And I want to love on, and I do love on every child that comes up under my wing. But when I get cussed out, yes, it's devastating. I can't cuss you back out. I can't throw a brick, but I love you. But we, too, have to respect you, and we expect you all to respect us, too. And I'm not saying everybody that comes, that you approach or come your way is kind. Everybody is not kind. But I'm just saying, let's learn to have respect one for another instead of fighting. It's time out for fighting. We've been fighting too long. I don't want to keep talking about Martin Luther King, and we're not doing nothing about what he has taught us.
Thank you. Now, I just want to make sure that you put all of that into the portal, into the Let's Talk portal, or you wrote it down on a piece of paper, because what you said is valuable. So I hope that all that is captured so that we can take it back as Dr. Morgan's staff and we can analyze it. So please, everything that you say, you report out, I hope that it's going into the portal so that we can take it back and so Dr. Morgan can have a hard copy of it. So our next, Shara.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a parent of an 8th grader at Newton D. Baker. I'm so appreciative of everyone in the room sharing their real thoughts. What I think that to have true partnership is responsiveness. And it is unconscionable that the district office phones don't get answered, that emails go unresponded to. I'm waiting 12 business days at this point, multiple phone calls, several rounds of emails, and attending a town hall to try and get my questions answered. And any business would go out of business with that. But this is a public service. And so with that, to be partners, you have to listen. You have to respond. It's not just listening, it's doing, right? Like, if you know what the problem is, solve it. And that's what needs to happen. We can talk endlessly about problems, but action is what we need. So that's what I want, and that's why I'm here today, is because 12 business days is too long. And then communication, responsiveness, and two-way communication. And sometimes with parents, there is an adversarial relationship with the school. And there's an assumption that all parents have an adversarial relationship. I don't want that. I want a productive relationship. But when I come in with frustration because I can't get my questions answered, I can't get my kids' needs met, it ends up that way. When I want to volunteer, when I put in an application, when I have a day of week I don't work that I want to give my time and no one responds for 6 months, like, what's up with that? To partner, things have to happen instead of just listening. Oh, yeah, that's great. Let's partner. No, do something, please.
Thank you. We're going to move on to the third question. Just a reminder, Dr. Morgan will be answering questions at the end. There are index cards on the table, so please use those index cards and hand them to a facilitator so that he can answer those questions at the end. So the third question and the third QR code with the text number is, if you were the CEO, what would you do first? What would be your first course of action if you were CEO? So we'll have 7 minutes to answer that question into the portal, starting now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm sorry to interrupt, but great news. All right, I hope you get excited. I hope you're ready to clap. I hope you're ready to cheer as we announce to your teacher, congratulations, you are an excellence in teaching winner!
She engages her students in a way that makes learning fun and exciting. When students walk into her classroom, they immediately feel a sense of happiness and belonging. I can feel it.
You are an excellence in teaching award winner.
Reverend Greg is an incredibly innovative teacher. Although Latin is not a subject most students expect to study, he uses a gamified approach to teaching and learning that is entirely student-centered, individualized, and effective.
Congratulations! You are an excellence in teaching
Miss Washington is one of the best science teachers I have encountered. She consistently instills and grows a love of science in her middle schoolers. Mrs. Washington uses a variety of methods to inspire our scholars. Here's a little bit about what your administration and colleagues have to say about you. Miss Melendez is truthfully the most dedicated and talented teacher I have had the honor to work with. She is deeply committed to the relentless reflection, improvement, and innovation of her craft.
Congratulations! You are an excellence in teaching award winner!
She has developed individualized, personalized learning maps where students develop agency of their learning. She has an incredible passion and determination for teaching her students, for supporting her colleagues, and for always seeking ways to be better for her diverse students. Mr. Durbin is one of the best teachers I have worked with in my career. He does an excellent job creating an environment that supports all students to grow and learn. He allows students to learn from each other and creates an environment that is safe and positive.
You are an excellence in teaching award winner!
Ms. Kirk is a caring teacher that wears her heart on her sleeve. She goes well beyond her own needs to ensure that her students are successful and achieve their goals academically and socially.
What an excellence in teaching award!
Every student that works with Ms. Thomas leaves her projects or programs with 1,000 times more confidence. Her commitment to every scholar, whatever it takes, is evident in the countless evenings and Saturdays that she spends working with her students.
You won the Excellence in Teaching Award!
You is a gifted educator who has a unique talent to support a wide ability of learners from EL to gifted to students with disabilities. Ms. Pugh is always coming up with fun and innovative ways to show her students, to show how much they know.
Can you get ready to clap and cheer as we congratulate your teacher and announce you are excellent!
He seeks to understand the whole child, is extremely patient, and always encourages his students to do their best at all times. Mr. Miller's instructional practice demonstrates high levels of learning with differentiated instructional pathways that truly supports the individual scholar to reach their academic goals.
It's gonna be an amazing day!
Day walking to school with my son means a lot. It's an experience for me, because I never did a father and dad walk, but it's a lot, man. Keep me strong, keep me going.
We are honoring and celebrating this day, which is our annual Father's Walk. Was happy to start my day here and be joined with so many wonderful fathers and father figures of CMSD, and particularly fathers and father figures of our scholars here at Max Hayes. And it's just incredible to see so many of our fathers and father figures across our entire district coming alongside of us to do this important work, raising their hand to say we care, raising their hand to say it's important to have an education, and raising their hand to say it's important to be invested in our school districts.
I want hats off to the fathers that are here, because it's important that they be in their kids' lives, and these are memories that they'll cherish forever.
For me to be walking with my son, it's a blessing, though. You know, really,
If you don't support them, who will? You know, like that's what we got. Our kids, our family.
Today was very important. It's actually my very first Father's Walk. I just got custody of my daughter this year. So for me, this is like big time for me, because I've been waiting to do something like this. So
I want to show them that I care and I love them. Father's Walk is a great idea. It really allows fathers to come and, you know, support their kids, and I really like that.
Okay, time is up. If you still need more time to input, if you were the CEO, what would be your first course of action? You are more than welcome. And after we hear these share-outs, then Dr. Morgan's going to answer your question. So if you have a question, you're thinking about it last minute, just write it down, and one of our facilitators will take it so that we can have them do it. Do we have anyone who wants to share if they were CEO? Oh, here. Yes, we do.
Hi, good evening. My name is Silka Hilton. I am with Good to Great Youth Development. I entered that if I was the CEO, I would start off by surveying all of my staff members within the district, so our teachers, our administration, as well as our vendors that we partner with, to kind of get an idea of the pros and the cons that they've been dealing with within the, working with you. And I would take that information and then evaluate some of the structural plans that are in place to see what's actually successful, what can we build on, what can we work on, because there's always areas of improvement. So I think that would be my first step, making sure I kind of go in and survey, hear my people out, look at those plans, reevaluate, and see how I can better support and what plans of actions I can put into place.
Thank you. Anyone else want to be CEO of CMSD? And what you would do first? Hello.
Hi, my name's Ellie Kamen. I'm a high school teacher here at Rhodes. And just want to preface my response, well, two things. First, just address the violence that's happening in our city. So I've probably lost 5 students to gun violence. And we know everyone in the city has been affected by violence in some type of way. So figuring out some innovative way to address that, because that's affecting everyone's families and education. 2, I would say just to think innovatively about how to invest in our K-8 schools. I have way too many students who can't read, who are way behind in reading levels, or have many behavior issues, and thinking about how can we innovatively change how the K-8 model works to lift all tides. Because I think if we really focus our time and energy and money into that, we're going to improve every child's education, as well as empower teachers to truly do their job and become better teachers.
Thank you. Anyone else like to share? Do we have one more? All right, we'll see. Philip, are you ready for oh, we have one more? Okay.
Hi, I'm a parent of a child at CSA, a senior, and also I work at INA as a partner. I'm from a partner organization, and I'm placed at INA. So I think that the staffing is a real issue, and I think that listening to the parents and thinking and teachers and trying to think about the staffing not as just a numbers game, but how it really affects people. Like when you transfer teachers out, when you're just looking at numbers, and then you don't think like about the numbers later on, because like at CSA right now, we lost a French teacher, and basically only Chinese is offered now. And like a language is a required course for high school students. So there are a lot of students sitting with no class now, with no language class, and a lot of them need that course. And if they're seniors, then they're definitely in trouble. There are also a lot of students at CSA who have no art teachers. And I think that it's an art school, so they need to have all the art teachers. And I've been to a couple of meetings there, and I know that they're working on some things, but there's still a lot of issues with that I feel like really need to be resolved. And in terms of, like they keep talking about, well, we need to get attendance, we need to get more students in, so wear your pride, your CSA pride t-shirts and bumper stickers, and it's hard to be prideful when you feel like your kids aren't getting what they signed up for and they tried out for and they really were looking forward to. So I also, at INA, at the International Newcomers Academy, I see so many students. I think this goes to the comment of a teacher before about I would really think about the ELL program. It needs a lot of work because right now it's working on a model from years ago, from students from years ago, but the students now, this doesn't work. They're coming in with a lot of students have no formal education, even in their own languages. They're often illiterate, and so we have to really think about, well, they can't be dumped. You can't put students into grades based on their age, or especially with ELL, it has to be based on their ability level. So I would just think about the staffing in a deeper way. other than just numbers.
Thank you.
Before we go into the questions that you guys wrote down, and I'm excited to get a chance to answer some of those, I want to first thank you for the feedback that you input. I was telling Darielle that the responses tonight, all the responses we always get are just really meaningful and great, but there were some really specific strategies that were also in here as well. So as we shared, I hope that that also got in the QR code, or that you wrote it down so that we can get that feedback. And in some cases, I already saw where some of our teammates were able to respond directly or follow up directly with you on some of the things that you brought up. So thank you for that. I also want to share that today, I believe, the first weekly CEO newsletter communication went out. Raise your hand if you actually received it. Should have come in an email. So if you're a staff member, community members, I think we should be going out even to some of our parents as well as our students. So there's an opportunity in that newsletter, and we can figure out how we can get more people to sign up, but it's a way of which I want to make sure that we're communicating on an ongoing basis. I'm letting you guys know the things that I'm thinking about weekly. Right now, it also showed how many schools I've gotten a chance to visit in. So today is day 77, and I've been in 31 of our 102 schools already. And so I want to make sure we can get even more. I heard about making sure we get out there and be present. I know it's not just myself, but we have our teammates. We've been in the academics and schools team's been in, I think, 272 classrooms already. And so this is the type of information we're going to be sharing out in the newsletter. Some of our realistic data, not just the things that we're proud of, but the real data, so that it's a call to action for what we need to do to improve our system. So thank you so much for sharing this, and I'm looking forward to the questions. I have a feeling that these are some good ones and that you guys did not hold back. So with that.
Oh, they are good. They're good. So thank you, everyone, for your questions. Question number one, Dr. Morgan. What is your vision for the role technology will play in CMSD's future? How important is your network connectivity?
That's a great question. Of course, the events of 2020 and the pandemic sped a lot of districts thinking about a one-to-one strategy. I think if you would have asked me as an urban educator how long it would take before, and this is prior to the pandemic, if you had asked me how long it would be before every kid had a device, I would think we were maybe 20 plus years off in urban education. But the pandemic, out of that unfortunate circumstance, it actually helped us speed up. But it's not just enough that every kid has a device. We need to now think, how are we utilizing that? How do we really transform the classroom where it's a classroom without walls? And that's an area we have some work to do. We still have some work to do. I know that we still have work to do to make sure that every kid has a device and also there's connectivity. I know that that is an issue. I've heard that through these listening tours and things I've observed myself. But we need to start thinking about how to educate our students not only on utilizing devices and utilizing technology to teach in a different format, but then also teaching students information technology and making sure that we have pathways in our elementary and our high school aligned to STEM technology. And so this is an area that we have some work to do. There's also some workforce development in terms of the training of our staff. Many of us as educators learned to teach in a different format and in a different way. And so this is a learning curve, not only for the students, but learning curve for us as educators as well. And so I think it is really important. And I think as we think about the new instructional strategy that'll be moving forward, there will be technology will play a huge role in the way in which we're thinking about our high quality instructional materials.
Great. Dr. Morgan, what does parent engagement look like to you?
Parent engagement is always really important, and I, much like the students, when I heard from them last week, where students said, we're your number one client, and our voice matters. Like, kids said that very directly. They said, in terms of prioritizing, you need to be making sure you listen to us. That is a direct quote that our kids said. I feel parents are just as important in that equation. So there was a parent, I believe, that said that sometimes there are assumptions that are made, whether those are good assumptions or bad assumptions about parents' ability to partner with the schools or What does it mean to care, or different things like that? And the thing I always tell whenever I talk to a parent when trying to deal with a difficult situation, no one can care and love for your child more than that parent. And so it's important for us to partner. Of course, we care for them. We want the best interests of all of our children. But when it comes to a parent advocating for their child, no one can care for them more or love them more in that situation. Now, that doesn't mean that every time there's a situation that comes up or an issue that we're always going to agree on the path forward. But there needs to be a space to be heard. There needs to be a space to follow up. And I know that is an area that we have not done the best in an area we need to continue to be stretched and pushed. This platform, Let's Talk, is a platform. Of course, we're using it for the town halls, but it is a platform that other districts use for this process of engaging and collecting information. And so as we're using these for the town halls, we're also thinking about ways we can utilize different platforms like this, or our parent portal that is also connected to our student information system, Power School, that allows us to interact with our parents and make sure that parents are more engaged in the schooling process. So more to come in terms of how we're thinking about this, but it is really important that we're partnering with our parents.
Question 3, what are some of the challenges we face this year for CMSD in 2023-2024 school year?
Yeah, I mean, there were so many that you guys have laid out here. And the one thing I also want to share, there's already been thousands of pieces of feedback we've collected. Tonight there were lots of different things. And speaking transparently, I will not be able as one person to respond and solve all of them. As a system, we're not all going to be able to respond to them. But we need to think about the prioritization of the challenges. I will think about challenges that I've heard multiple times that I think it's one that we need to make sure we have a collective action towards. One is safety. So I hear that. Just on Friday, I was at Glenville because, unfortunately, one of our scholars at Glenville High School, a senior there, and also one of our scholars at the School of One lost their lives to gun violence on Thursday evening. And so sitting and standing in front of the auditorium, a room like this, students, staff members, all crying and remembering their classmate was tough. And being in education, urban education all the years I've been in, far too many times have I had to do that. When I was a high school principal, had to bury 7 young men who all lost their lives to gun violence. So this is far too much. We hear about this far too much. It is a really important issue. I know it is a priority of our mayor, and it's one that we're working collectively with the city as well as many of our organizations like RTA to do, but it's a collaborative effort. The other area that I think is really important is making sure there's high quality access to programs across the board no matter where you live in the city. I often hear parents say, I live on the far east side, and if I want trade school like Max Hayes, I have to travel so far. Or if I want to go to the aviation school in Davis, I need to now go downtown, and I live really far. And so we have to think about these programs that we have in schools. How do we make sure, one, that they're high-quality programs, not only at the high school level, but at the elementary level, but that they're accessible across the city? So this is another challenge. The final challenge I will share, and I know this is one people get tired of, and I heard it tonight, is the reality of our budget. One of the things that we're going to be dealing with on the other side of this year, we all received those COVID federal relief dollars, millions of dollars that we received for the past 3 years, all districts did, to help us do things such as summer school, I think I heard that, or our one-to-one strategy, some of the other programs that we've utilized in these past 3 years. And that funding goes away at the end of this year, which will create an over $100 million deficit. On top of the realities of, I hear about our school-based modeling and when we have to lose staff at schools. And so this is top of mind in terms of how we're focusing on this. I launched my own CEO goals with the board last month. And one of the priorities I'm trying to do is protect our schools and making sure that when we, where we don't have to make budget cuts from the schools, we won't, but also prioritizing central office in terms of thinking about those budget cuts. But this over $100 million deficit is not something you can, easily cut your way out of. And so it's going to take a lot of strategic thought partnership from our community and from our business partners to help us think about this path forward, because our kids deserve more, even when sometimes our resources are less. They deserve more. And so these are the things that are top of mind for me.
Okay, and here's the next question. Is there any new initiative about teaching global education so that our CMSD students are well-versed and highly educated regarding world affairs?
Ooh, that's a good one. I know we have our Global Studies program, which I need to do even more of a dive into. I know I visited on their first day of school, but I haven't seen the curriculum that was on their first day of school, the Lincoln West campus. We have our Civics 2.0 program that we've been hearing our kids advocate for. I hear it loud and clear that they said, don't cut Civics 2.0. It's really incredible in terms of our learning. So we do have some different efforts, but I think I would want to learn more about behind that question in terms of what we could be doing and what a high-quality program could look like across the board. I know we're doing some efforts, but I'm sure we can be doing more. I also hear there were some comments around language access. And I think that's also something that is really important. Our district doesn't have as many ELLs as some other districts that I've worked in, but it is really important that we think about language access. And when we think about language access, it's not just making sure that things are translated, for our families, but it's making sure that kids of many different languages. And I heard, over here thinking about Afghan students and all the different types of students that come to our schools, that the students as well as their family have access to the school district. And then also, where we can have sign language and interpretation. That's also a part of language access. So this is also really important when we think about global studies, global language, and making sure it's accessible in our district.
And the final question that I have is, I would love to hear your perspective on on CMSD's actual response to COVID. Your perspective.
Wow, man, that's a loaded question. Well, I'll start with probably the obvious. I was not here during COVID, so I don't know. I think I would want to know more about behind that question. What I can share. I was not here during that time, and I was in a district. I was leading the academic work in Indianapolis, and districts across the board. And I was actually working a lot with Cleveland during that time. I know my colleague Lisa Farmer-Cole. There were times when I was in Indianapolis, and she's serving here as our chief schools officer. We will be on calls, just really collaborating, just thinking about what can we do. Everyone was at a loss for trying to figure out what is the best path forward. I'm sure every system, including Cleveland, there were decisions that were made that were great, and there were also decisions that we learned from. But it was a challenge where there was no blueprint of how to do this, but people rolled up their sleeves and said, how can we get this done together? What I do know is the aftermath of the federal relief funds that I talked about, which will be going away. There were decisions in terms of how the money was spent. And we had to, per the federal stance, we had to allocate those dollars and spend it by this school year. And so the district has done that. But now when we think about the path forward and making those decisions and prioritization regarding what stays, what may go, what may we need to reach out to partners to help us extend, those will be the decisions that are ahead of us.
Thank you. And our final question for the evening, which is pretty interesting. So how is CMSD preparing for the total eclipse of the sun on April 8th, 2024? It will occur shortly after most schools in for the day. And I guess children will be going home in the dark.
Before we got started today, Councilman Hirsch, who was here earlier, he was saying, hey, make sure this is something that you bring up because it's going to be really important. And so I'm glad that that question came up again. It's on our radar. We do know that that eclipse is happening on April 8th, I believe it is. And there are many districts across the Cleveland metropolitan area, many districts across the country that are figuring out what that day will look like. I've been in conversation with several of my colleagues that are asking, we're all asking the same question. What are you doing on that day? How can we do this collectively together? For those who do not know, the eclipse will take place right around dismissal time. And so the question will be, how do we do that and make sure that students are safe and sound, and whether we will have instruction that day, will there be a shortened day? So more to come. It is on our radar. We discussed that on our statewide superintendent's call, so that's just how much of the level it's raising to everyone, and we're in the mix. Usually when it comes to different things like this, and this is where it was like this with COVID, it's like this sometimes with weather-related issues, it's a collaborative effort. We like to make sure that the decisions we're making are the same decisions, Shaker's making, the same decisions, Garfield Heights are making, so that we're all in this together, and that we're strategically thinking about those resources. So I, for one, as a new superintendent and CEO, am glad that I have others that I can lean on and be in this thought partnership, but more to come, and it is on our radar.
Perfect. Well, that is the final question. So, Dr. Morgan, do you have final thoughts for the evening?
Just extreme gratitude. Extreme gratitude. I hear what was shared here. Not just listen, do. And so we will be coming back to do and sharing what that action will be. Of course, it will not be everything that will be on here, but this is a step. So I thank you. Thank you for taking your evening, and just truly appreciate you.
Thank you, Dr. Morgan, and thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. And please get home safely. Before you go, take a look at our video, and that is asking, are you ready? Thank you. Have a good night.